The Enneagram is a very popular personality typing tool in our world today, and many have engaged with it on some level, where if it's just basic, maybe taking a test and reading what that says about your Enneatype, or some have read books, some have gone to seminars. Some have looked at it and wondered if this is even compatible with Christian faith and spirituality. And for those who are not very familiar with it, you can look at that Enneagram symbol, the circle, with the lines that are going through it, and it can take people aback, shock them, leave them asking a question. What is this tool and what is this symbol? It almost looks connected to some kind of evil symbol, but it's not an evil tool. It is a tool to help us understand how we've been created and formed and shaped in our lives. And the word Enneagram just means nine-sided figure, from the Greek Ennea, which means nine. And so you're probably aware that it refers to 9 points around the circle that refer to the 9 Enneatypes. And those lines that are going through that we usually see in the middle of the circle connect to where each Enneatype moves in health, but also in stress. And so that's kind of explaining what that figure means. Many have tried to even track it back centuries and centuries ago to developments of certain church fathers and theologians and philosophers and psychologists, and understanding its roots from Evagrius Ponticus of over 1500 years ago, or there's Raymond Lull, which was probably about 700 years ago, and even Ignatius and his spiritual exercises. So Ignatius of Loyola, and seeing a kind of a trace with some of the work they were doing. They didn't found the Enneagram in the way that we know it, but we're relating to similar ideas and teachings that we now see in the Enneagram. But I think it's a beautiful tool that takes us deeper, and again, not just knowing what or how we react and respond in situations, but the why behind it, the motivation behind it. And so one of the things I like to do is to look at it from the perspective of what's called the harmony triads. And that is looking at how each number is on a particular triad. And if you draw lines, it looks like triangles. And there are 3 triads, 9 numbers, 9 Enneatypes, 3 triads, and how they all relate together. And we can talk about the kind of traditional route of looking at where each number moves in health and in stress. And we're going to do that, but to look at, again, the harmony triads is to see how we might pull from the beauty of the other numbers that are on the triad with our own Enneatype. And then one of the great things I think that's important to think about is how this Enneagram tool can be used for our spiritual development and formation. And I think it can be a tool for understanding what we can hear from God, what we need to hear from God in each of our Enneatypes. What are the things that we might struggle with? What are called the vices? There's a vice and a virtue connected to each number. But at the end of the day are also spiritual practices that can help us grow in our walk and journey with Christ as we live out our faith in this world today. And so I invite you to join me starting Friday, April 29th, and we'll go for 3 Fridays for an hour each of looking at some deeper things of the Enneagram, with ultimately our focus being on growing spiritually, developing and being formed in the image of Christ as we consider some of these things. So go ahead, click on that registration link, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday, April 29th.